99% of the market is focused on the wrong thing and are destined to lose. Before on-chain mania started back in April, established meme coins did multiple X's. Filecoin did 5x, it's pretty much infinite size, in 40 days. This is exactly something that will be happening now, and I want you to be positioned for it. Today, I will provide you with a list of top established meme coins and conservative short-term price targets for them. Yes, you heard me right. In 60 days, coins like Pepe, Weave, and Filecoin will do at least 5x from here. Make sure to watch till the end. Highest upside coin is located there. Press the like button. Without further ado, let's start. First, let's focus on the biggest meme coin this cycle this far. Something that kicked off the whole meme coin mania this cycle, which is obviously Pepe. What we can see on this chart is that we are in a beautiful correction since pretty much May of 2024, right? And this was the top of our wave 1. Right now, we're actually at the bottom of the wave 2. My take from here, you probably knows that we would actually be extending from here. And conservative targets for Pepe that I would like to outline is 1.618 for the top of the local wave 3, which is also sub wave 1 of global wave 3, which will actually get us to insane targets. But to be honest, you won't even believe these metrics at this stage. But my goal for you guys is to see all this. And you probably don't even understand like why I'm doing kind of like similar videos on a daily basis, because I'm trying to persuade myself as well. I'm trying to add conviction to myself as well. And as a byproduct, you're actually exposed to the opportunity of seeing, of digesting this information yourself as well. Like this is worth billions and billions of dollars. I'm sure if I would be getting a fund right now and getting tens of millions of dollars, I would be at least 10x in this fund in the coming 2 years. And I would just buy spot meme coins. This is the only thing I would do, and that's it, right? It's absolutely insane you're exposed to this information currently, but to be honest, I'm mostly doing it for myself because it forces me to do research on a daily basis. It forces me to challenge my setup on a daily basis, and it forces me to actually understand what is happening and position myself and take action and making sure that I am positioned to be making tens of millions of dollars in upcoming 2 to 3 years, which is absolutely insane with a very, very small initials, with relatively small initials, to be honest. So 1.618 is this target for Pepe, right? And something you probably ask, all right, this target is nice. What is the multiplier amount? The multiplier amount is 5.4x from here, which is the top of the local wave 3, which is definitely something that will be happening. However, this is the price from the bottom, which you already probably missed, right? We are slightly higher at this stage. And I just want you to understand how the multiplier is actually changing. This is absolutely insane. We have just been at 5.4x. And from current levels, we are already at 4.6x. This is absolutely insane. In order to get the same type of multiplier to Pepe, you probably would have to input 20 to 30% more capital than you would get in comparison if you would just put all the capital at the bottom. Although it's quite hard to put into all the capital at the bottom. And guys, I'm saying this is just the top of the local wave 3, which is sub wave 1 for the global wave 3. Global wave 3 will take us to insane levels, absolutely insane levels. And then we'll actually have global wave 5, which is for crypto asset. Global wave 5 is actually way more insane than wave 3 in comparison to the stock assets out there. Can you imagine this? Pepe is actually going to see $40 billion this cycle. Probably more than 50, probably somewhere in the range from 50 to 65 billion will actually top from here. It's absolutely insane. You can put $10,000 into Pepe currently. You would be living with insane amounts. But what most will do, you probably will do as well. You won't be doing it currently. You'd buy somewhere higher. You would be exposed to way less access. You would pay more capital for the position that you could have acquired if you are buying currently. Again, this is the biggest crypto asset at this stage. In terms of the meme coins, talking from meme coins from this cycle, Pepe essentially kicked off the whole run. Weave structure is kind of interesting because if you would look at it, it actually didn't break through the April low right here, which is quite interesting because Pepe definitely went through it, right? So from structural point of view, Weave actually has better structure than Pepe, which is pretty insane to me, if you would ask me, right? Conservative target for Weave, something that I shared on my post on X, is $2 from here. $2. It's a clean 5x, guys. It's a clean 5x from here. You can apply pretty much any size to Weave at this stage, but so few people would actually do this. So few people would actually do this. And again, this is just the top of the local wave 3, which is the sub wave 1 for the global wave 3, which will be taking us to insane levels. And after the global wave 3, we would also have global wave 5, which is for crypto assets, low liquid crypto assets. emotional base, such as meme coins. Why I like meme coins and why I am Mr. Meme Coin is because you cannot attach a value to meme coin. That's why they have no ceiling, guys. Any software at the end of the day will be valued closer to how companies are valued in the stock market. I'm not looking for this. I'm not looking to buy something where my upside is blocked right away. Just to have some security because there is some dev team of very cheap guys that are doing nothing and producing pieces of software that can be produced in 1 week. They're doing it in 6 months on tens of millions of dollars of investments. I'm not doing that. I don't need this stuff, guys. And something I want to share you is actually the top for the global wave 3, the possible top for the global wave 3. It's absolutely insane because with the FIP extension, I'm actually going to share here on Weave the top for the global wave 3. Global wave 3 usually is even bigger and larger for crypto assets than local wave 3, right? Your top for the global wave 3 is actually somewhere at 2, somewhere here. It's somewhere around $10. Can you imagine this? $10 is how much from here? $10 from here is 25x. None of you would believe that. But again, what will be happening is that most will probably buy somewhere here on the correction, and then they will sell somewhere here. So they will be exposed to 2.8x. And that's why this is something you cannot believe into at this stage. But majority would be exposed to 2.8x maximum on this asset. And again, this is just the top of the wave 3, global wave 3. After that, there will be top for the global wave 5 as well. I want you to understand what I am explaining here, because this is life-changing, life-saving situation. Because if World War III is actually happening right after these events, guys, it would be pretty insane. It would be pretty insane to be exposed to something like this at this stage, right? Again, bread is a low liquidity asset. Therefore, it definitely broke through the April low out there. However, it does not break the structure from my point of view because major meme coin assets are still holding the structure right there. What is the target for bread local wave 3? Again, local wave 3, this is something I expect to happen in upcoming 2 months. You cannot even expect this. You cannot even imagine this at this stage, but this is something I would be expecting in upcoming 2 months. 6.5x. And again, this is from the current levels. Because if you were able to catch the absolute bottom, which we retested, by the way, we retested the absolute bottom a couple days back, you would be catching 9.3x. Guys, 6.5x in comparison to 9.3x. You would have to put 50% more capital into bread at this stage just because you missed the bottom. And you are still sitting there and saying that we are in the bear market and nothing has happened from here. I want you to understand how important it is to be allocated into assets at the bottom. Your capital efficiency would be 50% more effective if you bought the absolute bottom in comparison if you buy now. Buy now is still right? Because even in this local wave 3 setup, if you would be buying somewhere higher, probably you would not sell at the exact top. You would be exposed to 2.3x, which is most people, I won't even say most people would be exposed to it because most people, they would actually buy the absolute top. They will buy the absolute top and they will lose money. It's just insane. Like, I'm doing these videos on a daily basis for months already, and most will still buy the top and lose money on this stuff. That's absolutely insane to me. You have to understand the velocity of the opportunity that you're actually exposed to. You have to see through the veil that they're trying to scam you with, right? This is truly life-changing, life-saving information out there. Again, global wave 2. Somewhere at 2. It's not at 1.618, it's not at 2, at 2.618, it's like euphoric. Somewhere at 2. 44 cents. This is the target I was providing already. 40 cents. 45, 43 cents. 43 cents for bread. From here, from these levels, it's 18x's. It's not also going to be like a very, long-term target. I expect this to happen less than 6 months from here. It's not long-term to get 19x on your money in less than 6 months. It's pretty insane, right? And I want you to compare, yes, because on this chart, you can see that, like, in comparison to us being at the bottom currently, it's very, very small range. But I just did the price exercise, and we have just seen that from the current levels to the top of the global wave 3 for bread, it's 19x's. Let's see what will be happening since the bottom. Since the bottom, 31x. Can you imagine that? You almost are getting 2x more instead of like 200 million market cap, where we are currently for buying at like 120, 130. Can you imagine this? 31x versus 18x. And the farther we go, the more upside you actually lose. This is absolutely insane to me. I want you to look into these things. I want you to understand what I'm sharing. I want you to understand that no one is talking to you about these things currently. Popcat structure definitely broke through the structure as well, but again, the thesis here is that main meme coins, the largest one, they kind of sustain the structure. SPX definitely sustained the structure. Farcoin kind of did, except this scam week. Pepe kind of did as well. We've 100% sustained the structure as well, right? Local wave 3 target for Popcat from here, guys, 95 cents. 95 cents. This is 2 months. This is 2 months from here. This is 2 months from here. This is 9.5x. 2 months from here for 9.5x. Again, if you were buying the absolute bottom, instead of 9.5x, you're getting 11x. Well, I believe something is wrong in the way where I started to show this, right? If you were buying the absolute bottom, yeah, it's 11x. All right. The situation here, because like Popcat is not very far from the bottom at this stage, but Popcat is being considered dead at this stage. And I'm telling you 100%, there is a reason all of these charts look the same. They actually move as a sector. And with expansion of main peaks in the sector, ones they probably have the lowest liquidity out there, therefore they will be pumping the most. And this is actually a reply to $1 billion question as well, because if you would know which meme coins will be pumping the first, you would be able to allocate some money into them, capitalize, make some profits, and buy into the laggers, right? And the response here is very simple, right? We have low liquidity meme coins like Farcoin, like Brad, like SPX in comparison to Ethereum memes, and we have more liquid meme coins that move late. Pepe, ticker Bitcoin, for example. Popcat for Solana meme coin is quite heavy, right? So what you would want actually to do, you would want to allocate into Farcoin, into Brad, and then maybe switch the profits into Popcat, and then maybe switch the profits into ticker Bitcoin and just multiply the gains, right? But again, this is a very hard game to play from my point of view. I would just try to have as much allocation as I only can. And again, the same thing I was telling you with my boba bags. I will tell you here one more time. I am buying before you and I will be selling after you. Because no one would believe this structure. No one would believe that we actually go into the global wave 3. Because you know what will be happening right after, and this is probably something I would be inputting in my videos like 3 months later, right? Right after we'd be touching 95 cents, we would go on a deep correction somewhere here, probably to like 40, 50 cents, right? And people here would be screaming that we just had like a dead cat bounce, nothing is happening, I am dumb, and the market is over. And I would understand this is just the bottom of the local wave 4, right? I want to understand that I actually need to allocate here. I actually need to buy here. We are going to the local wave 5. And after that, global wave 3 is not still over. We'll actually go higher from there. I can show you this as well. This is pretty insane. And no one sees this currently, and no one will be seeing it when these things will be happening as well. Right here at the bottom, somewhere 2 is, wow, it's around $4. So global wave 3 target for Popcat is around $4, which is pretty insane. Can you imagine that? That's like 40x. That's 40x from here. And again, these things, they move as a sector. If certain meme coins will start to outperform, others will start to outperform, and they have the same outperformance sequence. The reason I was able to long Bread is because I remember that back in March, Farcoin pumped the first and then Bread pumped. That's why when I'm seeing Farcoin pumping, and I'm not in Farcoin, I'm just longing Bread. That's the simple setup. And I understand that like if Bread will continue to pump, probably Pepe will be pumping as well, like higher, right? And eventually on-chain stuff will be pumping as well because people, they will be making money on leverage first. And then instead of just holding the leverage backs, holding them for months and even years, because the top of the global wave 3 is probably going to be somewhere in 1.5 years from now. But the core thing would actually be to hold your exposure to these coins. And the only thing you would want to be playing here is selling the tops of the waves and buying the bottoms. So sell the top of the local wave 3 and buy the bottom of the wave 4. This is the only game you would want to be playing here. And overall, just holding your longs, just holding your exposure. Because insane tsunami of liquidity is actually coming into this space. Something I would like to end with. The crazy part is that we've been trading under a suffocating liquidity regime for 3 years straight. No fresh capital, no real flow. There was a bit of fresh capital, but still. Just a few hundred of us rotating the same liquidity back and forth. People don't realize that we haven't seen a true liquidity tsunami in years. Everything up to now wasn't easy mode. It was a true hard mode and survival mode. And the ones who stayed alive and sharpened their edge during this drought are going to dominate when the tide finally comes back. The next phase won't reward newcomers. It will reward the ones who endured the desert. I wish you the best. Stay healthy and rich, and I shall be seeing you tomorrow.